Welcome, everyone, to our Lead Masters class for today. I'm so excited that you're here, and I love that we have all these people on Zoom. We've got some people joining us on YouTube, I can see, so welcome. We're glad that you're here. We're glad that you've decided to spend a little bit of time on your business today, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you some of my favorite things about growing an audience. And before we get started today, I just want to do a little bit of a recap of what we have been going through over the last couple days. So, day one, we talked about understanding the research behind what our customers are looking for. When we just post random content, it tends to bring in random results. But when we can get very curated with our content, and we do the research behind it, and we know how to speak to the people that are searching for our solutions, we're so much more effective than if we just randomly post. Then yesterday, we talked all about building trust and how important that is to continue to nurture and show up online so that you can build trust with your audience. They need to get to know you. And I always like to talk about how it's very easy in person for people to get to know us. They can feel our energy. They have all these different cues. They've got a lot of just facial cues. They've got our energy and how welcoming or warm we are to them. And then we also have our voice and our tone, and it's just a different experience. In fact, put a 2 in the comments if you feel like you can get to know someone much faster in person versus online. Like if you've ever been with me in person versus, being with me online, put a 2 if you feel like, yeah, I can explain and express some of my energy, but it's a little different in person. Sherry, there are replays for day 1 and 2. You can check YouTube for that. And so, yes, I love it. We've got some comments coming in. It's a different experience. And the struggle that we often have online is creating that experience. I think in person, it's a much faster purchase. Think about going into a store, visiting an actual location. You walk in and you're like, not sure if you're going to buy something, but you go through the rack. In fact, I have a sister who loves to shop, and when she goes clothes shopping, she touches everything on the rack. She wants to touch and feel everything that's on the rack, which I think is like, what? She could do it really fast. But we have to create that experience online. And as we go through and we begin that process, we have to continue to show up. We have to mean our we have to what am I trying to say? We have to get good at our consistency. Our consistency has to trump everything else. And a favorite quote that I have of mine is consistency trumps talent. And as we go through and we build online, that is 100% true. You have to get good at that consistency. Now, probably one of the biggest things that I see as an issue when I'm training and I'm helping people go through building their businesses online is an inaction. Have you ever felt that where it's like you want to take action, but like something is stopping you, whether it's mindset, whether you don't have the skills, whether you are lacking the tools, and inaction is a slow, painful death. It's in fact, I think of it in terms of like our actual bodies. When we are inactive with our bodies, they suffer significantly, and our businesses are the same. And so I'm hoping that in today's class and yesterday's class and the day before class, that you're starting to feel that urgency that you need to take action. Imperfect action is better than perfect action. How many of you want it all to be in place right? Put a 3 in the comments if you've ever been like, okay, I'm going to get ready because I got to make sure and have everything set up. I have to make sure I have everything in the right place. I have to make sure my system's in place. I have to make sure I've got all we're talking about the research. The research has to be perfect. But part of the whole process that we're talking about today is not just the research. That's not the only thing. We're talking about being consistent in showing up. And so I think I told this story either yesterday or the day before, that before I ever learned the recipe for YouTube, I posted every day for 4 months straight while I was doing a very intense program called Diamond Club. And I posted a 4 to 6 minute video on YouTube in that time period because I thought that that's what would grow me on YouTube. And even though it didn't grow my channel, it did grow me as a person. It grew me in my skills. It grew me in my ability. And it helped me to see, like, to really curate the process that I was working through. And so I don't want you to wait to have everything to be perfect. That's not what we're here for today. And even though I'm giving you step-by-step recipes on different things that you can do to move your business forward, one of the most important things is that you're actually taking action to move it forward. And the very first action step I would recommend, if you're like, where do I start? I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that this is exactly what I should be doing, is to map out your customer journey. And I just posted a video on Instagram today, showing my customer journey, showing the map that I use to map that out. And John's going to put a link in the comments to that Instagram post. If you comment journey on that, you're going to get access to a webinar that I'm going to provide. It will show up into your summer school login. So you'll get a login at summerschool.com. And that video will show up on the 25th of November that you can go in and watch. And it's going to be just a lengthy presentation on the customer journey. And so you don't comment here, you got to click on that actual link, and that will get you into the system so that we know to send it to you. It will actually give you access to Summer School, so that you can then access the video. And it will be in summerschool.com, login.summerschool.com, if you go through that process and you comment on that reel. And that's the first thing I recommend doing, which is why I'm always talking about it. I've shown the customer journey. You'll see it again in the presentation today. The customer journey is so important for this process, because if we cannot think through that customer journey and we don't know where we're leading them, then we post and we don't really have an intention other than, doesn't everybody want the intention to be that somebody makes a sale, right? Like that somebody purchases. But just like what I was saying at the beginning, those purchases happen in person because we've had experiences. We've walked through the door. We've felt the energy of the store. How many times do we walk in a store and somebody says, "Welcome, I hope you're having a good day." That's because they're trying to have those interactions. It's not just because they're wanting to welcome us. It's because we have to have the interactions. And so you can open up the store door. You can see what's in there. You can feel a connection. Like, yeah, I might be in the right place. You hear them say, "Welcome. So glad you're here." Then you go and you start rifling through the racks or the books or whatever it is that you're looking at. You're going through it and you're starting to feel that connection. Your job online is to create that. And inaction is a slow death online. It's not just a slow death like for your business, but it's also a slow death for your mindset. Have you ever noticed that? If you are struggling to take action, your mindset really struggles. And what takes over is fear, guilt, frustration, even anger, inadequacy. Put a 9 if you felt any of these for your business. I know that this is a cycle that you have to really reset your mind for. And you have to get good at managing this. And I think the best antidote for any of these is action. It's taking action. It's like getting out of the inaction, and getting out of the inaction takes away the fear, the guilt, the frustration, the anger, the inadequacies. Now, sometimes maybe we're stuck in the weeds and we feel like we're taking the right action. Like I always say, like I'm cleaning my office. That is not an income producing activity. And I am guilty of this. I have spent many times in my life where maybe I pick up a project that that project doesn't necessarily move the needle on creating income, but it helps me to feel better about my business. And so I want you to pay really close attention as we kind of go through and we figure out how to be stronger business owners and stronger business leaders, to see how we can overcome these feelings so that we can take action, because these feelings slowly eat us up inside until we're left just with a living in a shell. That's it. And we cannot attract the right type of people. We cannot bring people from lead to loyal unless we're willing to start taking action. So I want you to put a 10 in the comments if you're ready today to take action. If you're like, yes, I'm going to start taking action today. And because I don't know where you're at in your business, you get to decide what that is. And I know for me, the action that I've been taking lately has been I'm posting more. I'm posting more frequently on YouTube. I'm posting more frequently on Instagram. I'm setting up my processes in a more effective way so I can gather leads more effectively. I'm making sure that every post that I do, it's not just a post. The posts that I do lead to something. They lead to something that can bring in growth and not leave my business in a shell. And so I hope that as we go through this class, that you begin to feel like you are out of, and maybe you're not even feeling this right now, but a lot of times we have like this starting point. We have this point of that we are like, okay, we're going to do this. This is going to be so great. And you showed up to this class and I'm so proud of you. You've been coming back every single day and you're like, this is the start of it. And what I see so often happen is we move forward and we keep moving forward and we take a little bit of action, and pretty soon we come up against a block. Something that we might not know how to do. We don't know how to get over it. We're not sure how to push through it. We're not sure how to crawl over it, knock it down. And so we start pushing. And in that pushing, we get tired and we kind of take a step back. Put a 5 if you've ever done this, where you get started. And this is a cycle I see happen in business all the time. You show up, you're super excited, you start doing all the things. And yeah, I see too many times. It's true, right? Like, and that's why I'm calling it out today. And we get like so excited, and then we come up against a block and we push against it for just a little bit. And then we kind of sink back. And this is what I like to call your rut. This is where you get stuck in a rut. Have you ever felt that? Like stuck in a rut where you're like, okay, I was doing really good. I was pushing really hard and now I'm back. And this is my comfort zone. We're not feeling that urgency to start again. We're not feeling the urgency to push through the blocks. We're kind of in the middle where it's like, there's not that pressure to start. There's not that pressure to push through. And this is our comfort zone. This is where we like, it's just everything is easy here. There's nothing behind us pushing us. There's nothing in front of us stopping us. We've got some space to breathe. And it's so important that we identify this, because we get super comfortable. We get super comfortable, and sometimes we even take a break, just like leaning up against, and the block can be the excuse where we're just like, yeah, we're just gonna like lean on the block, and that block is going to be the reason why we're not moving forward. And instead of pushing through, we step back into that rut, because that's where the comfort zone is. So today in this class, my hope is that you are going to feel the power to pick up the hammer and knock down whatever the block is that is weighing you down. In fact, if you feel comfortable, put it in the comments below. I would love to hear, and I'll share I've had a couple blocks pop up in my business this year. I was just thinking I should create a YouTube video on this because this year my YouTube channel got hacked and it destroyed not just my algorithm, but it destroyed my progress. Like it literally stopped me in my tracks. And the thing is like if you have worked to start a YouTube channel, you know that a lot of times this is what you feel. Because every day it's like, yes, you get more comfortable with things. I remember when I first started my channel, I felt like I was crying every day. I don't cry every day over my channel. But because we came up against a block, I wanted to take a break. My channel got hacked. I had to figure out how to get it back. Somebody took it. Thankfully, I had two-factor authentication up and running. And so they couldn't delete all my videos. Thank heavens. They could only put them at private, but we have over 400 videos on our channel. So then we had to go through and figure out what was private, what was public, what was unlisted. Because some of my things, I don't publicly list everything. And then every time we listed something, it sent out a notification to our subscribers, like we uploaded a brand new channel. It was like, there were so much. And so each one of these blocked me. It was like, I didn't want to send 100 notifications a day. And then it's like, I had to remember to go back on. And so I just got really comfortable where we were at. And as a result, what happened was my channel it atrophied. It was dying slowly. We went from hundreds of subscribers a month that we were getting to dozens. Like it was under 100. And we're barely starting to recover. And so when I say that I know what it's like to be in this spot, because to me, going through my channel, doing a whole channel audit was like too much for my brain to handle at the time with everything else that was going on in our life and our business. And as a result, the channel atrophied. And so right now, the action that I have committed to take and I've started taking before I ever did this Lead Masters, we started 2 or 3 months ago. I started posting consistently again. And guess what? Everything starts growing again. I picked up the hammer and I knocked down the wall. And in the last 5 days, we've had 127 new subscribers on our channel in the last 5 days. And that would have never happened had I decided to stay in the comfort zone and just hang out, just using that as an excuse. My channel got hacked. My channel got hacked, so I can't do anything. It's too bad. It's just the way that it is. I had to pick the hammer up. I had to fix the channel, which there's still so much to fix on it because when somebody goes through and does that, it's insane, the amount of work. But because we've picked the hammer back up and we've started working through it, we're breaking down that wall. And as a result, and the reason why I'm starting this lesson out with this today is because behind every block, behind every wall, there are thousands of people waiting for your message. There are thousands of people wanting to connect with you. They are searching for the answers that you have. They are hoping to find a solution. And you have that solution. You have the solution. The question is, do you have the mindset to get through those blocks? Do you have the willpower to get out of the comfort zone where we're comfortable? To just stop leaning on those excuses, get out of the rut that you're in and break down the wall so that you can reach the thousands of people who are actively praying for the solutions, for the answers, for your message. And that is, I think, our biggest struggle when we talk about getting leads and getting them to be loyal leads. Because if we continue to push through a block and then we allow a block to stop us in our tracks and we wait another 3 months, 6 months, 9 months before we pick up the hammer, the the axe, the chisel, whatever it is, and we start knocking those blocks down again. Your job as a business owner is to be the best hype person in your space. And that's not easy to do all the time. But it's your job as an entrepreneur so that you can then hang out with and become best friends with those people who are looking for you. Your leads are your future best friends. Your leads are your future community. That community that you feel deep in your inside of you to grow. And so in this world where we are building small businesses as entrepreneurs, it's not just about sharing our product. It's not just about getting really good at educating and building a system. It is about pushing through the hard times. It's about being consistent and committed. So when I say I want you to be hyper consistent, I want you to be hyper vigilant, that I want you to be hyper consistent with you. And when you can show up that way, your leads understand that and they want that energy. Have you ever felt that before where you like connect with somebody and you're like, I need more of that energy in my life? And that's what you want to create. You need to be the person that people want to hang out with, that they want to learn from, that they want to listen to. And the person who jumps in and out of consistency, who's like, hey, it's BOGO day, and so yay, and then you don't show up for another 3 months, they don't feel connected to that. They're not going to feel like they should be loyal to that because you're not being loyal to them. So in order to create a space where you have leads that become super loyal, you have to be loyal to your goals. You have to show up and honor the goals that you've set. And it's so weird because so often we'll show up for other people and we have a hard time showing up for ourselves. We're like, "Ooh, I'm not sure. Like, should I today it's going to be way better if I go and hang out with my friend group," which I'm not saying don't do that. Of course, like I'm not saying to never do stuff like that, but like we use distractions to be like, tomorrow I'll do my goals. Tomorrow I will. But what you're really saying is I'm not showing up for the people who need me today. And if you think of it that way, you'll probably show up a lot more consistent than I'm showing up for my goals. Because for some reason, if somebody were to ask, in fact, put a yes in the comments, if your neighbor were to come over today and say, hey, will you make me dinner because I'm having surgery? Would you do that? My guess is you probably would say yes. But if you said, ooh, I'm really hungry and I need to make a really healthy dinner, but you're like, but it's going to take time and effort, like, would you do it? So you're probably more likely to make dinner for someone else versus making dinner for yourself. If, you're like me. Whereas Sarah says, yes, I did this yesterday. Anybody else? Because that I know, because this is how I am. I would and most people will honor the things that other people ask them before they honor what they want. And so my hope is in these lead master classes, and I hope that you come back to our Monetize Your Social. In fact, if you want to get access to that, you need to jump into our Monetize Your Social community, and you'll have access to every Zoom from there. That's where you will get access to it. John just dropped the link so that you can jump into that. And we will post all the events in there, and it's going to be, I hope it's going to be our best boot camp so far. I hope that it's going to be different than the ones that we've done before, because I've just been learning things, especially with my channel being hacked. So my hope is that today, as we talk through this, that you don't allow your mindset or your blocks to stop you from creating something amazing in your life and in other people's lives. So with that, let's jump in, and I'm going to share with you a few things that maybe you've heard before, but maybe today they're going to land a little bit different. I love this quote. If I had to pick why or skill, I would choose skill. And this speaks to, okay, we just talked about mindset, which a lot of times our mindset is wrapped around a why, but we also get blocked by skill. And skill is awesome because it's duplicatable. It's something that you can almost like make a checklist with. If you can learn a skill, you know how to do something over and over again. The why behind it is super important. And we talk a lot about whys. This is why we have our vision board classes. This is why we do a lot of mindset stuff. But today we're going to talk about, and I want you to think about this in terms of developing a skill. Because as we go through and we talk through creating leads that become loyal, you have to have skills in order to deliver that. And so let's walk through it. Are you ready to develop a new skill? So at the very beginning, I said, map out your customer journey. This is what it looks like. And probably, well, I think the most important part of gathering your leads is having this subscribe function working. And what the subscribe function is gated content. It's an exchange. They have to walk through a gate. They have to, they can't just show up. They have to unlatch the gate and walk through the gate. And this is an exchange where you give them something and they give you something in return. Now, we are talking about getting leads that go from leads to loyal. And what I see a lot of people do, in fact, just last week in one of our communities that we have where I do live coaching, somebody showed up with a like 25-page lead magnet. And the struggle that I have with that is if you give them all of the information with step 1, why would they have to come back? Like, what are they coming back for? And it's like you're sending them like a little ebook and you're like, here's the ebook. And then a lot of times what happens is people will spend a ton of time developing that ebook and then they don't do any of the follow-up emails that go along with that. And so as we're thinking about what is the content that we can exchange, I want you to think, what do you teach the most? And how can you break it into bite-sized pieces? Because it's not just about creating the freebie, which I'll show you. I'll give you a couple tips on that today. But now it's about nurturing them beyond that, continuously showing up. So if you have something where you're like, oh, I created this 25-page ebook, I would recommend that, and I would submit, you just created a 6-month plan for your social media and your email nurture sequence. So instead of feeling like, oh, I did the 25 and now I got to figure out 6 months worth of content and I got to figure out 6 months worth of nurture, I would break that down into maybe 6 months worth of stuff, 4 pages per month. And then I would cover those things in that month. Now, if you're like, I don't even know how to create a lead magnet, I don't know how to jump in and get a freebie all set, ready to go. And so I just want to clarify, these are freebies, lead magnets. This is the exchange. Okay. So sometimes I'll say freebie, sometimes I say lead magnet. That's the exchange we're talking about. What's something you can give them for free that they want? And so actually I like it that it's freebie and lead magnet because it's something that will draw them in, but it's free. And so let's do a quick deep dive into different types of lead magnets. Now, if you've been training with me, you know, for years, you know that I'm always like, create one lead magnet. And that is true for YouTube, to create one lead magnet. That one lead magnet can bring in people over and over and over again. And I always say one because I've seen so many students get stuck where they spend 6 months creating one lead magnet. And I'm like, just like it, like just create one and see if that works. And then we can like move forward. And if it doesn't, we'll do something different. So I really like teach, do one. And once you get one, then maybe you could do a second. But what I have found as I've been growing on Instagram this year is I have to create multiple lead magnets for Instagram. Instagram, in order for me to like the model for Instagram that I am finding is working for me is I post just like what we did today. So John, will you put that post up there that they can comment journey on? And that opens up, like they comment on that, they get sent something in the DM, they sign up for whatever that is, and now they're in deeper into the sales process than they were the day before because they've gone through another gate. And so what I've learned is the one lead magnet is great for YouTube. On Instagram, I have to do multiples. And put a 4 in the comments if you're like, okay, that's a lot. Because that's kind of how I felt. I was like, oh my goodness, but I'm going to give you a secret. I want you to think about on Instagram, small things. Like these are not like huge things that I'm asking you to do, but little small bite-sized things that they can help. Like one of the things that I did that got so many comments that I'm going to reuse multiple times. And this is what I want you to see is my list of my favorite books. And once I created that, yeah, I posted that like a month ago and it's still getting comments. And that's the cool thing is each one of these is still getting comments, and they're even getting comments on YouTube, which is awesome. On YouTube, it's not automated because I am not using ManyChat, but I just created a simple PDF that has all of my favorite books on it. And here's the other part. And this, we'll talk about this in the Monetize Your Socials. Each book was like when they click on it, it goes to Amazon so they can purchase that. And what I did there was I got affiliate links for that. So not only am I getting them into my system, but now if they purchase a book, I'm getting an affiliate commission off of that. And so you have to think on Instagram, what are some simple things? So I created a 1-page PDF of my favorite books. I linked to the Amazon affiliate for that. And they came in, it's still getting comments on it. Now we know with Instagram, a lot of times things die after a couple of weeks, but I have found that these posts where you're adding value, you're creating some sort of lead magnet, they continue to pop up because people continue to save it. They continue to comment on it. And then you've got them into your DMs. And yesterday I told you that most of the sales on Instagram happen in your DMs. So when you're creating lead magnets for Instagram, I want you to think, what are 3 to 10 different lead magnets that are easy to create, that would be quick and easy to deliver, that I could do on Instagram, versus on YouTube, the lead magnets I create on there, I do a lot of research for. So I want to make sure they have a long tail keyword that's right around 1,000 in it. And that's the metric. In fact, we're going to talk about keyword research in just a sec. But if I can get that keyword, 1 or 2 keywords in the title of it, and I continue to say on my videos, download this guide that's got that keyword in it, then I'm going to begin ranking for that keyword, especially if I use that in 50 videos. It's the same lead magnet, but it's got the keywords that go along with it. So we've got 2 different strategies on how to gather people with our lead magnets. One on YouTube, one on Instagram. Now here are a list. You could screenshot this if you want. It's a list of different lead magnets. In fact, I'm going to make this as a download that I can do on Instagram. And what I have found is because on YouTube, it's so important to do the research, I was getting very curated with that download. But on Instagram, it doesn't have to be as curated. These are things that I talk about all the time that I'm already sharing for free. And I could do a very simple post on, here are 8 different lead magnet ideas, and comment lead magnet, and you'll get my list of lead magnets and, something else. And so ebooks are great, but like I said, I would recommend that they're shorter ebooks. They're smaller ebooks. You're not giving away the farm in one fell swoop. You're giving them a taste of what you provide so that then the next day you can email them another thing, like something else that you can provide, some sort of value that you can provide that they're looking for, a solution. Research guides, checklists, cheat sheets. Checklists are really great. Reports. I actually just saw somebody I was following. She just did a report and got like 5,000 people commenting on it. I was like, I've never done a report. Maybe I need to do a report of some sort. Audio files. So this could be any kind of like recording, podcast type of thing, assessments, quizzes, video training files. So this is kind of like what I just did on our Instagram. I set on our Instagram profile, comment journey, and you will get a webinar that takes you through the entire customer journey map and how to set that up for your customers. And so what that does is that leads into video training. And that's going to be on Summer School. I'll upload the video and now forever I can use that. I talk about customer journey all the time. So today when I created that, I was like, this is going to be something I can use over and over and over again on Instagram to bring leads into our system. And then free trials, swipe files. These are like templates that people can use. And free but short consultations. So these are some good lead magnet ideas that you can set up. Now, where can you find these? Because like I said, I don't want you to take 6 months to create these. And so here's a couple areas that you can dive into. The first one is Canva. Canva's got some really, like, you can Google things on there or just search things on there. And maybe you wanted in fact, let me see if I can do this for you. I am going to go in and open up Canva and I'm going to show you how to find these. And then we're also going to do, I'll open up this one as well. Okay, perfect. There we go. So we'll add this in. We're going to go to Canva first and we're going to add this in. There we go. Awesome. So let's say we wanted to do a dinner plan. And I've never searched this before in here, so I don't even know, but I figure there's something. So look, we've got a meal plan right here, already done up. Let's show more. Let's see what pops up. Actually, we don't want to do my designs. We want to do the templates. So right here. Okay, see how we've got all these weekly plans. And they're created. You can just go in and customize it based on what you're looking for. And like, here's a great one, a weekly fitness planning. So you can go through and fill this all out. You could even just use this as download my tracker that you can use to plan out your daily or your weekly fitness. And so that is a great way to do it. Another great thing to do would be to come into ChatGPT and say, I am a fitness trainer, which I'm not. I need a 5-day meal plan for 1,500 calories for a woman to follow. Please make this gluten free. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. So we need a 5-day meal plan, 1,500 calories for a woman to follow. And we want this to be gluten-free. Okay, here it is. Perfect. Day 1, day 2, or lunch. I mean, seriously, can like put a 5 if you're like, ChatGPT is the best. Because like, it used to take so much longer to create these things. We can literally do anything that we want now using ChatGPT. Now, I always recommend that you go in and you curate this. You don't want to just take it at face value. You want to make sure that this aligns with you, that maybe you would change things up a bit. But look at how awesome this is. Isn't this incredible? Now, you could also do something like you could say, put it in a table format so that you can download it as a spreadsheet, and that's what you share. So you don't even have to like design it. Please put in a table format. And so now it's going to take it into a table format, and we can even ask it to make it into a CSV file, but we could just copy paste this into a spreadsheet. And now we have our download already created. Our lead magnet is created. And then you could go in, and I love ChatGPT because you can ask it like, what would be a great follow-up for the email the next day that would be a value offer. So going into Canva, using ChatGPT, these are absolutely incredible for creating any kind of lead magnet. Now, another tool that you can use as that goes through and does that is PLR, so private label rights. Your private label rights are, it's a great, because it's already created. And now that we have ChatGPT, I feel like it's kind of like private label rights, but you can search in here, fitness plan PLR, and just see what comes up. And these are bundles that you can buy and that you can then brand. So PLR means you have bought the rights to turn around and use this and sell this as your own. And so you can just Google, put it in. There's lots on Etsy. Then there's lots of these PLR websites that are really great. And they give you access to a great freebie that can be used instantly. And this is actually a great thing to do if you are wanting, especially if you want to grow on Instagram and you want to create high value downloads, but you don't want to have to spend months and months on time doing that. And so you would go in here and you would download each of these different ones, and then you could send them day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and go that way. So really awesome. Bonnie said she created an oil natural solution branded ChatGPT. That's awesome. And those are awesome to do as well. You can do that up in the top section here and go into the GPT section and curate and get that set up right there. So that's another great download. Thank you for sharing that. So when you are looking to take them from lead to loyal, it's not, like I said, it's not just about creating content. It's about creating content that inspires them to take action. If we go back to what we were talking about in the beginning, what is stopping you from really moving forward? It's that inaction. It's that slow death. And if you can think like, what are stopping my ideal clients? Like keeping them like not taking action. What can I create that inspires action? That is where the magic will happen. And action comes in lots of different forms when you are lead generating and getting them to go through your process. From lead to loyal, it's first they got to download something and get into your system. And then you keep asking them to take steps. You keep asking them to jump in and download a guide or come to a class or comment on something. You want to keep them taking action, and that will lead to loyalty. So one thing that I talk about a ton in a lot of the trainings that we do, and we'll cover this even more in our Monetize Your Socials bootcamp that's coming up. And so, John, will you put a link in that comment so that they can jump into that group? Is utilizing Keywords Everywhere. Keywords Everywhere is a Google extension that tells us what people are searching. And the metric for YouTube is right around 1,000. Now, if you can start to learn Keywords Everywhere, which we will talk more about in our Monetize Your Social, you don't just use that for YouTube. This is something I use for Pinterest. I use it for TikTok and Instagram as well. It helps to curate my content so that I continue to produce content that connects with my client. Now, another great place to get a freebie is the Gutenberg.org. Any book that was produced, I think over 75 years ago, is open. It's like anybody can then reproduce it. And so things like Think and Grow Rich, like you can actually get to make that be a download. You can utilize these books that were written 100 years ago and use that as a freebie as well. And then I love using Fiverr. I also love using Etsy. These are great when you are searching for freebies to do. If you can get really good at finding the solution for your people and providing that, that is how you take a lead from a lead to a loyal customer. You have to maintain that consistency of producing. Now, our Monetize Your Socials Bootcamp is coming up on December 2nd. John just posted in the group the link to the group where that's going to take place. In the meantime, if you are wanting to jump in and get more customized coaching from me, we have our Lead Masters. And Lead Masters is something where every month we jump on with our Lead Masters group. We do live coaching with them. It's any questions that you have regarding leads and Facebook and Pinterest and Instagram advertising. We coach live there. So if you want to jump into that group, it is a community that we do. It's $97 a month. And in that community, you get live coaching and you get to be part of a great community. We have a Black Friday special coming up on summerschool.com. And so this will be launching very soon. And so I wanted to share and just kind of walk you through, because on Black Friday, like it will literally be for just a couple days and then everything will go back to normal. But I wanted to take you through our summerschool.com because we have so many new courses that are showing up here. We've got our Chatbot Mastery that we launched recently, our Lead Masters, our Video Creators Academy, which is a revamp of the YouTube for Influencers Academy. And this one is awesome. It actually comes with a number of custom ChatGPT bots to help you with your writing scripts and doing the research and all of those different things. And then I have broken these up into our customer journey because I talk about this all the time. And so if you're looking for awareness, bringing awareness, we've got these different things that help to bring awareness to your product. If you are looking for really, you want to fill the gap in the engage category, we've got all these ones that help in the engage category. If you're wanting to get people to subscribe, we've got our subscribe trainings that we've got. And we've actually got a funnel training that's coming out here soon that will be in the subscribe on how to build out funnels and then convert. And so be sure to check back because this next week we're going to announce our Black Friday special and put a lot of these on Black Friday special. So I hope that you, so is that included if we purchase the Academy? So there are some, so the YouTube for influencers is something that came with the Academy. And so you already have access to part of it that's updated. And the rest of it will be in there soon. And so, yes, you have access to that. But some of these other ones, some of them you have access to, and some of them you don't. You'll see them in your summer school. I hope that you jump into our Monetize Your Socials bootcamp that's coming up. I'm so excited for this one, and I hope that you have found value and you feel inspired to get good at building out and becoming a lead master. Build out your lead magnets and become a lead master. Show up consistently. Do the things that you know people are looking for. Be that person. Be the inspiration. Be the person that they can rely on. And I guarantee you will grow your audience and you will build massive success. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We'll chat with you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.